What is going on, my bookish friends? Jay here, and today we're going to be doing the male booktuber tag.
This video is going to be a bit of a mix between a tag video and a discussion. This is a topic that I have wanted to address since the early infancy of this channel, but could never quite find the framework or I guess the excuse really to bring it up. Luckily for me, the framework for a video was basically gift wrapped in the form of the male booktuber tag that Jay did on his channel the other day.
Now, I did a video previously discussing why I think there isn't many guys on Booktube, and a lot of males and females suggested that I do a male booktuber tag to not only spread awareness for the fact that there's not many guys on Booktube, but to encourage more guys to join us on this community and make this community an even better experience for everybody else as well.
The sentiment of this tag is basically a rallying call to try and encourage more males to participate within the Booktube community as content creators. It lends itself to discuss the idea of whether or not there is a real lack of males in this community and if there's a reason for that. So I certainly applaud the sentiment behind it. It's certainly a conversation worth having, and it's definitely one that I've wanted to have for quite some time now. So I am indebted to Jay for making this tag, giving me the proper excuse to go ahead and address it here. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead with the discussion by using the questions of his tag as more or less to keep myself on topic. So here we go. The first question right out of the gate asks, do you think there's a lack of male booktubers? And if so, then why? And for that, no, I don't think there is a lack of male booktubers. This is one of those questions where if you would have asked me in the infancy of my channel, I would have responded with a resounding yes and been completely confident within that response. However, as time went on and I got more involved in the community, I've started to realize that there is a lot of men doing this. If this question is rewritten into, do you think there's a lot more women than men, then yes, definitely. The ratio between male and female in Booktube is staggering. I would probably say it's 10 to 1, maybe more. But I don't think that represents a lack of male booktubers. This may be a little idealistic here, but when it comes to gender divides in any industry, in any community, in any conversation, I don't think that an even amount of any gender is what is required for equality. I don't believe that just because there's one male to every 10 or 15 females in Booktube that there's a lack of males here, because I think all the males that want to do Booktube are doing it. I don't think that there really is this aversion or push factors that are preventing males from joining the community, and you could see that in the people that actually get on board. Would it be nice if there was probably more males? Sure, I guess. But yeah, it's literally, this is just because of the phrasing. I don't think there's a lack of males on Booktube. I just think Booktube is a female-dominated community and arena, and there is nothing wrong with that. This segues us to the second question of the tag, which is, would you like to see more male booktubers, and why? And I did already answer this with a, well, yes, I wouldn't mind. I would probably like seeing a couple more male booktubers find success in the community, but it's not really something that I put a lot of energy into. It's, with me, anybody that's followed this channel for any period of time, you know that I do everything I can to completely abolish the idea that your gender, your race, your sexuality, any of this speaks to the content of your character and any validity to your perspective. You are a human being, you have your experiences, you have your thoughts and feelings, and that's what I want to get, and that's what I want to get into. So when I watch a Booktube video, I am literally only concentrated on what's being said and what's being talked about. If you provide some kind of interesting opinion on something, or even a run-of-the-mill dime a dozen opinion on an interesting thing, then I'm going to watch and I'm going to enjoy your content. Sure, it may be nice to see some more male faces in here, but really, I don't care who is in the community at this point. Again, the gender for me doesn't come into the conversation at all. And that's something that I try to uphold in all aspects of my life, which kind of gets me in trouble sometimes when we talk about things like diversity and gender issues. But that being said, yes, my answer is, yeah, I would like to see it, but really I don't care too much. I don't really care at all. This question works under the assumption that you do agree that there's a lack of male booktubers in the community, which I do not. But I will answer it nonetheless, in that if you want to attract more males to Booktube in general, and you want it to be as successful as the number of females coming in, what needs to happen is we need to have more males who are higher profile booktubers. Right now, Jesse the Reader is large. He's the largest male booktuber, I think, in the community. I'm open to be corrected about that. The next one down I can think of will be Benjamin of Tomes. He's at about 55,000 subscribers. And down from that, the next booktuber I know, the largest, will probably be Simon Savage at about 7,800. So when you search Booktube and you know nothing about the community, or if you search book reviews or anything like that, you know who's going to come up. What's going to come up is Christine, Kat, Ariel Bissett, Haley, Katrina, all of the major players in the Booktube community are female. So you immediately are going to have that just natural tendency for that to resonate more with female watchers than males. The best way to get more males booktubing is somehow to develop those channels that can be large leaders as male representation in the community. Like I said, Jesse is a male, so is Benjamin, but that's two, and Ben is, again, 50,000 subscribers. Next to the juggernauts of Booktube, that's a very small number. So, I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't any that are fairly large, but there's no male booktubers that I think measure up to the success of the top female ones. In terms of grassroots kind of actions you can take, this tag is a great start. Just having this conversation going and just shouting out other male booktubers. It's like I say about diversity. So many people, when talking about diversity, are focused on, shaming and berating authors who don't write diversely. It would be better to lift up and promote and speak of those diverse voices you want to see when people are doing it, because that is going to give them visibility, which will encourage other like-minded people to do the same. So you want to see more male booktubers, then, well, talk about male booktubers a little more often. You see someone you like, shout them out. They do a good video, they do a certain video that just happens to catch your eye and seems really interesting, retweet it, share it amongst your friends. Visibility is how more males are going to enter this community. But again, I go back to the whole idea of, I don't realistically think that's something that needs to be done, but if you want to do it, then this is how I think it's done. The next question asks, do you think if more males on Booktube would enhance that experience? And to that, I gotta say no, yet again. Not to say, again, that I wouldn't appreciate seeing more male faces, but I don't equate the gender or the sexuality of anybody, or the race of anybody, with my experience viewing their content. For me, it is about the content. It is about what you're talking about and how and what you're actually saying. So, in terms of more males on Booktube enhancing the experience, I can see if you are one of those people who feel left out or you feel isolated from the community, because I'm not going to lie, that does happen to me at times. There are times that I feel like I am just an outsider to this community. One, because I don't show my face on camera, and two, because I am kind of a male in a female world. But at the same time, that's not something that I'm going to give grief about. That's not something I'm even going to give voice to, because it's a very tame experience compared to what happens in the reverse when you have women in male-dominated arenas or communities. If anything, I appreciate the fact that this gives me at least a little taste, a little perspective on some of what that would feel like. I understand it completely pales in comparison. It's not necessarily a problem that needs to be fixed for me, because, again, and I know I'm repeating myself a lot when I say this, but I don't care who's telling me what they're telling me. I just want somebody to tell me something interesting or tell me something enlightening. And that's basically it. So the question has terrific sentiment behind it, but I have to be a bit of a curmudgeon and say no, that I don't think it will enhance the experience in any way. I don't even think it would change my experience in any way. The penultimate question is to basically look at your analytics and see your gender split for people that are watching your content. I check both. Like, the one that initially pops up is going to be the last 28 days. And then after that, I looked at lifetime. And both of them kind of say the same. In the last 28 days, I've got 61% female, 39% male. And lifetime, it's 60-40 on the dot. These numbers are a little skewed in the sense that, I only get about 100, say, views per video, so it's not like we're working with large numbers here. But yeah, I'm not sure what I expected in seeing this. Part of me was thinking it would be more even than this, but then there's another part of me that's thinking maybe it's a lot more females than males. But then at the same time, with some of my more controversial content, I thought maybe there wasn't a lot of females watching, so I'm not sure where I was expecting this to be, but 60-40 in favor of female That does sound pretty even, all things considering. So yeah, it looks like I have a pretty decent split between male and female, and I want to say I'm surprised, but I truthfully do not know what I was expecting. So that is what it is. And finally, the last part of this tag is basically just to, give a couple of your favorite male booktubers in the community. And I'm going to toss a bunch in the description, just because there are a lot, especially newer ones that I've recently come across that I haven't gotten around to shouting out yet. But yeah, just take a look below for those. And that's it. That brings us to the end of the tag. When it comes to tagging people, I wasn't going to, but then at the same time, again, the spirit of this tag is to try and get visibility and nurture the idea for more males to come to the community. So I'm going to tag the people that I talk to online who have, decent sized audiences, because if they do the tag, it'll help further Jay's cause here. So I'm tagging Olive from A Book Olive, Ali from Hardback Hoarder, Sam from Sam's Nonsense, Erica from The Perks of Books, and just because he has the biggest tag addiction I've ever seen, male or female, in this community, I'm also going to tag Steve Donahue, just to see how a lot of these questions, I'd be very interested to see what he has to say about them. But yeah, so that's it. Check the description below. There's going to be a lot of male booktubers down there. And if they're in the description below, it means it is a recommendation. I'm not going to put anybody on there that I don't regularly watch. So with that, thank you, Jay, for that excuse to talk about this, and for such a well-intended tag. I would definitely encourage any of you watching this or listening to my voice right now to check out Jay's channel and the original video for the tag. He has a standalone video itself explaining why he thinks there's less male booktubers than female, which dives more into what he thinks is the nature of readers in general and males not being encouraged to read as much as females. It's an interesting conversation. It's well worth the watch, so I'm going to link that video below as well. And with that being said, as always with these discussion videos, I encourage comments below. I'd love to keep the conversation going, but this is more or less a response video as well as a tag, so this really is Jay's conversation. So I would also really implore you to go check out his original video for the tag and keep that conversation going in his field as well. With that, I am going to call it a day, and I'll see you guys next time.
And so I hope you enjoyed this tag, and hopefully we can, do something special here on Booktube. That would be awesome.